This episode of the Deep Dive, based on a fascinating document from the Buddhist Association of Australia, explores a dialogue between a master and his disciple. The conversation delves into profound concepts of spiritual practice, particularly the meaning of bodhicitta, the mind of awakening, and a master's thought-provoking analogy of reality as a dream. The core of the document goes beyond just the initial act of making a vow. It meticulously charts the path from the initial resolve, through practical actions, to ultimately abiding in a state of profound realization. The Master's dream analogy serves as a powerful tool to help us understand the relationship between consciousness and what we perceive as reality. The dialogue begins with a quote from the Abhitamsaka Sutra: "By giving rise to the mind of awakening, one cultivates all the methods that assist all Buddhas of the three times." This might sound like simply having a thought or making a decision is enough, as if you've already completed everything. However, the Master clarifies this with a relatable analogy. Giving rise to the mind of awakening is like seeing a delicious recipe and deciding, "I'm going to learn how to make that dish." That moment of resolve is the initial vow. But it's just the first step. The sutra's phrase "cultivates" doesn't mean the practice is finished. It means that once you genuinely make the vow to become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings, every necessary action that follows is implicitly contained within that resolve. You must still actually follow through. It's like deciding to cook a dish and then having to buy the ingredients, prepare them, and follow the recipe step by step. So, bodhicitta sets the destination, but the actual work lies in the subsequent actions. What is the most fundamental practice that assists us in achieving this goal? The Master firmly states that the primary foundation for all methods is the 10 virtues. He uses the analogy of the 10 virtues as the earth or ground. Without this solid ground, it's impossible to build any structure, whether it's a skyscraper like enlightenment or a simple cottage for good fortune. Nothing can be built without this foundation. The Master emphasizes that if a person can truly practice the 10 virtues, not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual misconduct, not lying, not using divisive speech, not using harsh words, not using idle talk, not being greedy, not being angry, and not being ignorant, they can easily attain the state of an arhat or pratyabuddhata. Why are the 10 virtues so crucial? They are fundamentally about taming the mind and body. The Master gives an example: just by truly letting go of the strong attachment to sensual desire, our 6 senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, can become more manageable and responsive to rational direction instead of being constantly driven by desires. A scattered and chaotic mind makes it difficult to follow precepts, meditate, or make progress in any spiritual practice. The Master's interpretation of sensual desire is broad. He expands it beyond just male-female relationships to encompass any powerful desire or habit that makes you feel lost and unable to free yourself. This includes things like addiction to video games, binge-watching shows, or a strong attachment to fame, wealth, or power. He describes people with these desires as being stuck in a maze or a swamp, unable to find the energy to pursue anything else. The 10 virtues help us get out of this mire and stand on firm ground. Therefore, the 10 virtues are the bedrock for everything, both worldly and transcendental pursuits. The dialogue then moves to the higher goals of bodhicitta: to acquire the power and fearlessness of all Buddhas of the three times, to adorn oneself with their unique dharma, and to gain the wisdom of preaching. The term unique dharma refers to the qualities and abilities that are exclusive to a Buddha and not shared by other enlightened beings like arhats. Examples include a Buddha's limitless, non-discriminatory, and unceasing compassion, joy, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, the 4 immeasurables. It also includes the ability to perfectly understand all sentient beings' capacities and preferences and teach them in the most suitable way. Adorning oneself with these qualities means developing the capacity and quality to liberate sentient beings. The wisdom of preaching is not just about being a good speaker. It involves a profound understanding of the listener's background and capacity, their interests, and their current suffering or problems. It's like being the most skilled doctor, able to precisely diagnose the issue and provide the right medicine and language to guide them toward liberation. The sutra says that a person who gives rise to the mind of awakening is immediately equal to all Buddhas of the three times. This phrase can be easily misunderstood. So the Master clarifies that equal refers to the equality of the goal. When you make the vow to become a perfectly awakened being like a Buddha, the ultimate goal you have set is identical in nature to the goal all Buddhas have attained. It's like a group of chefs all setting out to cook the same Buddha fruit dish. The standard perfect wisdom and compassion is the same for all of them. The equality is in the destination, not the immediate level of attainment. You still have to do all the work to get there. The sutra also mentions that upon making the vow, one is praised by all Buddhas of the 10 directions and can preach the Dharma. The master explains that this describes the response of the Buddhas. Because you have given rise to this extremely rare and precious mind of awakening, the Buddhas are overjoyed and ready to act as your ultimate teachers and support system. They will guide you and help you correct your course. But this is conditional on you doing your part by building the foundation of the 10 virtues. The dialogue then enters a deeper realm, with the sutra stating that a bodhisattva with an initial vow should seek only the wisdom of all-knowing and have no attachment to any phenomena of the Dharma realms. This no attachment seems incredibly difficult. The key to this, the master explains, is to completely realize that all phenomena are but the mind's own manifestations. When you are able to fully comprehend that the external world, mountains, rivers, people and internal sensations, emotions, thoughts are all just projections of your own consciousness, like images or a dream, there is nothing substantial to attach to. This leads to the master's brilliant dream analogy. He says that our daytime life is a daydream, and our nighttime sleep is a night dream. In essence, they are identical in nature. He explains that his own experience of observing dreams while studying the Diamond Sutra taught him that dream experiences can be incredibly realistic. The physical sensations of water, the fear of falling, and the pain of an injury all feel real in the dream. But upon waking, everything is gone without a trace. This made him realize that our seemingly solid, real daytime world might operate in the exact same way it appears real but is fundamentally illusory. The master points out that when we enter a night dream, the daytime world disappears. When we return to the day, the night dream is gone. Which one is real? Which one is fake? He challenges us to consider if either of them has the kind of solid reality we think they do. He also points out that both dreams occur in the present moment, and they are both shaped by us. Our current personality, emotions, and life circumstances are the results of our past and present thoughts, words, and actions. In a sense, our life is a dream that we have collectively shaped. A common question that arises from this is, if life is a dream, does it matter what we do? Should we just lie flat and be passive? The master's answer is a firm no. The purpose of realizing the dreamlike nature of life is not to destroy or be passive in the dream. On the contrary, the goal is to perfect the dream. This brings up a famous concept from Zen Buddhism, perform great Buddha work in the dream. This phrase means that while profoundly understanding that all phenomena are dreamlike and insubstantial, we should act with even greater compassion to care for all sentient beings within the dream. We must actively engage in self-benefiting and other benefiting actions, which are the Buddha work. This profound shift means that the wisdom of knowing that life is a dream does not lead to escapism, but rather to a higher wisdom and deeper compassion. It guides us to be more engaged in life and to act more effectively. It is a middle way wisdom that avoids both the extreme of clinging to a solid reality and the extreme of nihilism. True practice is about remaining awake while in the dream and using this awakened state to more effectively practice the Bodhisattva path, transforming the dream into an opportunity for awakening. In conclusion, understanding the dreamlike nature of life is not a call to passivity or indifference. Instead, it is an invitation to act with a more clear, free, and compassionate attitude. It is an opportunity to actively perfect the dream we are living in and co-creating. The true beauty of practice may be in embracing the wisdom of performing great Buddha work in the dream to see everything as a dream while acting with endless compassion, diligently doing every meaningful thing in front of us. A final question for you to ponder, since the Master says that everything we experience is like a daydream that we can shape. When you look at yourself, what kind of dream are you actively or passively shaping with your every thought, word, and action? If you were to become more aware of its dreamlike nature, would the way you shape that dream change?